really happy to welcome the first speaker of the day, Dr. Christoph Peylo. As I said, he's Senior Vice President, Digital Trust at Bosch, a PhD in computer science. And he'll in AI actually, so very qualified to have the first keynote of the day. Christoph, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks. Let's start the day with a little bit of gardening. So this title, I like metaphors, I have to admit. It's about telling you about the gist of my talk. It's AI has incredible tasty and useful fruits, like apples also. But if we want to harvest the fruits of AI, we have to do a bit of gardening to benefit sustainably from that. So like pruning the tree, watering, and so on. And this essentially will cover my talk. So benefiting from AI means that we have to put some effort in developing the next steps of AI as well, so that we can then, in the next period, benefiting and harvesting again. Bosch has started the journey in AI many years ago, but in 2017 we founded the Bosch Center for AI, and actually I have to admit it was a tremendous success. I might be a little biased here because I built it up myself. However, we have some facts to undermine that it was really successful. And why was it? Because we could combine the new technology with existing processes which worked well in Bosch. And this was part of the secret. So we focused on hybrid modeling because there is a deep understanding in traditional German industries about how things really work, and bringing here AI in. So combining the understanding of the processes and the underlying technology and the natural sciences, and using then AI as a very sophisticated tool has proven to be very successful. And we implement now this approach in many products, even in existing products, to make them better and to make the production cheaper. And of course, since we are in settings which are in novel terms, belong to the high-risk area, because there are direct interactions between people who work with this AI and the AI technology, this flavor of industrial AI we are building has to be safe, explainable, and robust, of course. So if it's in the production process, in robots or in cars, that is what you really want to expect, and rightly so. One of our most interesting applications of this industrial AI was when we built our new wafer fab in Dresden. This, at that time, was the biggest financial invest Bosch has ever made in building a new wafer fab in Germany, in Dresden. And we produced a new set of devices there. And normally, the process for getting acceptance of that plant and of the products which are produced here would have taken months, perhaps years. However, since we were able to combine our experience we had in making wafers, because we have a plant already in Reutlingen, and we produced more than 1 billion of that. So process-wise, we were on the safe side. We had a clear vision, clear picture of what has to be done, and we could use the data we produced during the process and during the setup process as well in Dresden to make then this approval process slimmer. How so? Because there are two main risk elements for defects in wafer production. So one is the product itself by the process of manufacturing it. This can lead to defects, and you can avoid this with sophisticated means of optical inspection, for instance. And AI is a big tool for automatization that and getting that more effective. And the second flavor of defects come by the process, by small and almost not perceivable deviations from the process how it should be. And both, as you will understand, both flavors of defects are instances of anomalies of the production process how it should be. And for anomaly detection, AI is a powerful tool. So applying AI and the capabilities of AI to detect anomalies in huge amounts of data helped us to get the approval process faster, to produce quicker, and to optimize, by the way, then our scheduling processes as well. So this was a huge process. What you can take as a learning from that is applying a novel technology in a process you are already familiar with works well. So this is one of the cases where you can apply AI in a scalable way. Now I come to the other. During the COVID pandemic, we developed very quickly a tool for spot checks. And here we applied AI as well, and this machine came up with an unprecedented precision in detecting the patterns and doing spot tests very efficiently. So this was deployed then in airports and public stations, for instance, for having quick feedback whether someone is expected to have COVID or not. And here, the domain we went into was novel for us. However, the technology not. Why not? Because with optical inspection, with using AI for detecting patterns in pictures and in sequences, we have a long experience because we are heavily engaged in highly automated driving, as you see here, with all kinds of pattern detection in pictures and sequences. And this could be applied for this COVID thing, so that we developed quickly a product which was quite successful here as well, and so the approach scaled as well. This is the second instance how applying AI in a scalable way for industry works well. If you take a technology you understand well, and this was here AI and pattern detection, and apply it on novel business opportunities, this will work as well. So two instances of how you can make AI work for you. However, now this was the harvesting part of my talk. Now let's come to the pruning and to the gardening part. I told you those applications from our traditional industrial context. This works well because this is done in a well-defined setting, in an almost sheltered environment, which we can control completely. However, the promise of AI goes farther. So direct interaction between people and AI technology is something which we will have in future. And here, AI is currently not a perfect match for humans. Again, there are two aspects on that. AI is today often not perfect due to unintended, unethical behavior. Because something is not foreseeable, or the situation might be ambiguous, and the AI product does not take the context into account. I brought here some examples. The early versions of assistant systems, if you said, I'm fed up with my life, I'm going to jump from a bridge, then the assistant would have offered you helpfully good bridges which might meet your needs in the neighborhood or so. This is unintended. However, you can use AI technology, and we see it currently. A lot of trolls are using AI to route messengers and to create echo chambers in society, and to bring in disagreement in society about political matters. And for that, AI is a perfect tool. However, this is then intended unethical behavior, fake news, deep fakes, instances of that problem. And this indeed is a problem. And there are other mixtures of this. So the ethical foundation of our everyday behavior is based on to be able to anticipate how people interact with each other. And this will be difficult with AI currently. And so we came up with partners from industry and from VDE to trying to build up a slim approach which might help to give more guidance for industry and more transparency for the consumers, how to work with that. And we picked the metaphor of this energy efficient sign, you know, from buying fridges, washing machines, or whatever, and mapped it on 5 dimensions like privacy, transparency, robustness, accountability, and fairness, because in our view, those are important dimensions of trust and of digital trust. So, and if we have values as society, like the values I just mentioned, you want to be able to observe them then in the daily behavior of your opponent as well. So we came up with this, we applied this existing method of the VCIO scheme. So there are values, there are criteria that these values are actually fulfilled, indicators for the criteria, and these indicators must be observable. And for that we came up with some checklists, as you see here. And this allows then for a product to map the parameters of the product then to the ethical dimensions and make that transparent to customers. And the underlying hope is that our customers are then enabled to say which flavor of trust, of digital trust, they want to have in their products. And so by their buying decision, they will shape then the development of future AI, whether it's more robust, more fair, more privacy related, or all of that. Yeah? So bringing the customer with his buying decision in the driver's seat so that they actually have the data for an informed decision and can then, as an additional criterion in the selection process of future technology, be in the driver's seat and say what are the parameters they want really to have. We try to combine that with the upcoming AI Act, the AI regulation in Europe. There is this in Article 40, there is something that if an industrial standard has been established, then compliance to the standard can be used as compliance, or can be regarded as compliance with the AI Act, and this is what we are currently trying to do. So making it transparent for our business customers, for our business units, and for the consumers and users of AI technology. If you're interested in that, please reach out later to me. Yeah, this works only if it's accepted and if many people and many business partners say, yes, this could make sense. And if you're interested in AI for industrial technologies, please reach out to me as well. Because I think it's really a tasty fruit, AI, but it needs some caring, gardening, so that we can, in the next season, harvest again. So, thanks.
Thank you very much, Christoph. I think it's exactly, you very well made the connection to what we discussed yesterday with the AI. I think we need some actionable insights on what companies need to do. And I got the feeling that you at least have a plan what to do now regarding trust into AI. Sounds great. If you want to know more, Christoph is here to answer your questions. Thank you so much, Christoph.